All right, 2 p.m., in other words, an hour from now, the president is going to be making remarks about that Putin summit in Helsinki. We also understand that Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will be testifying next week on Russia. I don't know with whom he's going to be testifying, but anyway, we'll see what happens there. This, as a lot of people on both sides of the aisle are wondering whether the president went too far, praising Vladimir Putin and at the expense of friends and allies and our own intelligence services. The House Intelligence Committee member, Republican Chris Stewart, joins us right now, says that the president has to send a signal here. And I guess you had some concern whether he did.
Well, yeah, look, I love this president. I support his policies. I think he truly is, as his words, making America great again. But on this one thing, he was just wrong. And maybe he was ineloquent, and maybe he'll have a chance to clarify his statements. I hope that he will. Because, look, Russia is led by not just one, but a group of KGB thugs. They're enemies to democracy. I want to have a positive relationship with them, but it's got to be built on understanding that foundation. That's just true. And the second thing, Neil, is I think sometimes the president conflates collusion with their attempts to interfere, and he views them as being one and the same, and they're not. There's no question that they wanted and tried and were successful to some degree of interfering with our election, just like they have in previous elections around the world. That doesn't mean that there was evidence of collusion. There just isn't any, but we have to be clear on the one thing. They were trying to interfere, and they've been successful in being divisive and bringing a lot of ill will to American people, no doubt about it.
You know, I can understand why he still chafes at this entire discussion, because he thinks inherent in it, to your point, Congressman, is that he wasn't a duly and legitimately elected president. He was. End of story. But every time he talks about this story, maybe he just thinks that it fuels that argument all over again. When you can make the distinction, and most have, that the Russians clearly were involved, send a strong word of warning to them, don't do it again, not happy that you did it, and move on. He didn't do that. How does he correct for that? Is it too late?
Well, no, I don't think it's ever too late. And I think, again, a lot of people understand that maybe this wasn't exactly how he felt. I really believe that that's true. But you got to give this president credit. He speaks extemporaneously many times. He speaks off the cuff. That's one of the things that's endearing. But it can get you in trouble sometimes. And I think you may say things that you may not mean them exactly where it came out. But that's clearly what's happened here. But he needs to correct it. It's too important to let this lay. It needs to be corrected. The Intelligence Committee.
Well, what do you want to hear him say then, Congressman? I mean, he's going to speak in about an hour. He might address this. But what do you want to hear out of him?
Well, for one thing, I don't want to advise the president on what to say, and I'll let him and his advisors decide that.
Feel free. I know he respects you. Go ahead.
Well, I'll tell you what I would say. I would say I respect and recognize that the intelligence community was right in their analysis that Russia tried to interfere, and I'm not questioning that. The second thing I'd like him to say is, as I just said, Russia is not our peer. They're not our friends. They're our adversary. They want to diminish freedom and democracy around the world. I recognize that. And we will consider that in our negotiations with them. Now, once again, I'm glad he met with Vladimir Putin. I don't care that he had a one-on-one. Some of the media were making a big deal of that. I think that's nonsense.
Well, do you think Vladimir Putin got the better of him? That's another line that's developing in the press. And like you said, maybe a press that's not too keen on him, that Putin got the better of him.
Well, I don't know. I think time will tell that, because after this storm has passed, and it will pass, we then can now look at what did they actually substantively talk about, and did they discuss or agree on anything. I think, to be fair to the president, let's look at that. But in the short term, I don't think that this conversation we've had over the last 24 hours is what the president wanted to talk about after this summit. And so in that sense, maybe Vladimir Putin got the best of him, but I don't think it was Vladimir Putin. I think it was just the circumstances and reacting to some of the things the president said, not something compelled by Mr. Putin.
All right. Congressman, thank you for taking the time. I do appreciate it.
Good to be with you.